Okay, so let's sum things up here with this Escalade. Here's the deal. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing a very, very rare Cadillac Escalade. This is a Sport Platinum with the Duramax diesel. Yes, that is right, this actually exists. Before getting this video though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Cadillac here in Provo, Utah for giving me some time with this Escalade. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. If you're wondering, this one is available for sale for the time being, so if you're interested, just reach out to them, ask for Craig if you have any questions. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get right into it. Under the hood, we have a 3-liter inline-6 turbo diesel that I call the baby Duramax. It's paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission, and it puts out 277 horsepower and then 460 pound-feet of torque. Fuel economy is 20 around town and then 26 on the highway. Before I go over the front end, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post this content every single day. Starting with the hood here on the Escalade, you've got some prominent lines there on either side of the hood, and overall it has a muscular appearance. And then coming down below, this thing looks absolutely sinister. So of course you have the giant blacked out grille with the Cadillac emblem front and center, and then we have our giant daytime running light there with the LED headlamps. We do have parking sensors there at the bottom, and yeah, this thing just looks imposing. When you put it all together, I mean, just look at that. Coming around the side here, our tire and wheel setup is 275, 50, 22 in the front and over in the rear. You guys can see that the wheels themselves are all blacked out, which goes with the overall theme of this particular Escalade. When it comes to the suspension, this has air ride, magnetic ride control, and a limited slip differential. And then taking a look at the full side profile here, you guys can see the power side steps tucked in there at the bottom. Everything is blacked out. You do have another Cadillac emblem there on the back, and yeah, it looks good. So here's our key fob for the Escalade. You guys can see we've got the unlock function, the lock function, remote start, the opening for the hatch, and that's the opening for just the window, and then the Cadillac emblem there on the back. If I just press this a couple of times, then it'll pop right open. Now this is the standard length Escalade, so you guys can see we've got a decent amount of storage space here behind the third row. We've got Escalade here on the plaque, and the other one doesn't have it, I guess. And then we've got more storage underneath. And then we do have these controls here in the back. So these two buttons right here will raise and lower the third row. And then those ones next to it will just lower down the second row, and then that's a little charging port. And look how much space there is with the third row folded down. When you're all done with the rear, just press that button right there, and that will lower the hatch right back down. Now this is the fun party trick with the new Escalade. So these are the taillights, pretty cool. They've got that vertical appearance that they've had for quite some time, but when I unlock it, taillight does a little dance to turn on. It's hard to see because it's daytime, but hopefully you guys saw a little bit with the video. And then we do have the emblem here that also doubles as the functionality to open up the rear hatch, which is pretty cool. But guess what? I can stop it by pressing the key fob, and that's another cool feature. We've got a blacked out Escalade badge right here, and then notice we have our 600D badge. So I've kind of determined that the 600 stands for the Newton meters of torque that this has. Since it has 460 pound-feet of torque, that means it has 600 Newton meters of torque, and D because it's a diesel. Now we have a towing capacity of about 7,800 pounds and a payload capacity of about 1,465 pounds with this, and this is the bezel that covers the receiver hitch. And then we got the squared off exhaust tips. And then when you put the rear end together, it has that normal boxy Escalade appearance that, well, the Escalade is famous for. Beautiful door panel here. You guys can see really nice leather trim with the stitching there at the top, then wood trim down below, and then more leather trim where you're going to rest your arm. And then we do have some kind of like blacked out trim that covers the window control. We do have like door lock and unlock function, then a regular door handle. Do love the look of the speaker there for the sound system. And then, like I said, power side steps, got the Escalade plaque there, and then here are the seats. So full leather seats, and look at that design. That is absolutely beautiful. And then you do have your adjustments there on the side to move the seats. So sorry about the glare, but you guys can see we've got these screens here in the back with this on either headrest, and it lets you do stuff like Hulu, YouTube, all that. So pretty cool for your kids. And then we do have a storage pocket down below. And I actually get my own climate zone back here, and we've got heated seats here for the second row passengers. And if I click this little tab, it pulls out some cup holders, which is pretty nifty. And then we've got a bunch of charging ports down below that. Now the Escalade is very spacious here in the second row with the legroom, and then you guys can see I got this cool armrest. Headroom's also really good. Some other notable features you guys can see here with the vents, and there are speakers for the sound system literally all over this thing. Now, first off, here in the third row, legroom is fantastic. Got some cup holders back here. I actually have some padding on the armrest, and I have a USB port as well. You've got this for the seat, as you can see. And then here's a quick look at the seats here in the back. So notice the design is just as beautiful as the second row. And then headroom's also really solid. Now the front door panel has the same design as the rear, so we're gonna skip over that to the heated and cooled seat controls for the front. And then you guys can see with the window controls, front two are automatic, and then you do have memory seat functionality. Mirror adjustments, the mirrors do power fold in, and they also have blind spot monitoring as well. And yeah, it's just a really cool design. We got the fancy schmancy speakers there in the headrest here with the Escalade. Then you can see with the center seat design perforated. And then look down below, really cool with that. And then all of our power adjustments, and then this does have massage seat functionality. That's what that little button is for. And again, with the Escalade logo. We do have some important controls right here. So this is for your drive line select. So notice that we've got an auto, a 2-wheel high, a 4-wheel high, and then that is like your hill climb assist. And then your drive mode select. And then this is for your air suspension to raise and lower it. Your parking brake, trailer brake control already integrated from the factory. And then notice the steering wheel is power adjustable. Now the first thing you notice is this one is equipped with Super Cruise. That's what that little line there at the top means. Really nice leather trim all around, even on the airbag cover. We've got some like radio controls here on this side. We've got our cruise control there on the other side with your lane keep assist and all that. And then you guys can see here with the wood trim, you do have paddle shifters here on the back for that 10-speed automatic. They're kind of itty bitty. And then we do have a turn signal light stock, windshield wiper stock. Now, just like other Escalades, we got the auxiliary screen here off to the side, which lets you scroll through a couple different menus. Now, the cool thing is how you can change the gauge cluster, so you can go through the different views, whether it's the map, the night vision, or the augmented reality camera. So here is the center gauge cluster. You guys can see I have the map view on right now, and it shows you some other important information like RPMs that you're at, and then also your fuel range, for example. And you can change it to the other settings. So it does take a second for everything to load up. You get like the augmented reality, and then I can go to the night vision if I want. Oh, I guess I can't use it because it's not dark. Or you can just do a standard gauge cluster as well. And then you guys remember I do have those drive modes I can go through. So you got a touring, sport, off-road, tow haul mode, and then a my mode that you can go into. And those will adjust the suspension depending on the mode you go into. Now in reverse, you guys can see we've got a backup camera, which trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel. And we do have that bird's eye view as well. And we have a bunch of other viewpoints that we can go through. Really good camera system. If you've followed this channel for a while, you know I'm a huge fan of GM's overall camera system. I think that it's fantastic. It's easy to use, and you know, overall resolution's great. Now, as for the rest of the infotainment system, first off, response time with the screen is fantastic. It has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as you can see. Now, you even got the video recorder, and we've got ambient lighting, so you can really set the mood inside of your Escalade, which is pretty fun. And then we do have this beautiful leather dash here, so at the first part, and then you guys can see for the sound system at the end. And so when you put it all together, it looks really cool. Then we've got more wood trim down below as well. And then you guys can see analog controls for the climate system. And notice there's like leather trim all around that section with the vents. Just look at the design. So we've got this for our auto hold, your auto stop start, and then your lane keep assist. So first off, we have our shifter for that 10-speed automatic, pretty straightforward with the use there. And then this is our analog control for the infotainment system if you don't want to use the touchscreen. And then we've got a bunch of storage here, and then you can see with the wood paneling that covers that. And then we do have a wireless phone charger inside, which is pretty cool. And then we have this center console, which is absolutely enormous. It does have some USBs inside. Really nice leather trim here on the top, and it says Escalade, of course. And then opening up the glove box, nice handle, actually, lined with felts. And again, there's even like padding on front. So a few features up top. We have the camera mirror, which you know I'm a huge fan of. And then you can see we've got some controls here for like the seats, for the hatch, and then also for the sunroof as well. This has a full panoramic sunroof here up top. And then look at the headliner as well. Really nice premium headliner. And then again, tons of speakers here for the sound system. So here's our window sticker on this Escalade Platinum. So first off, you guys can see 4-year 50,000 mile bumper to bumper warranty, and then 6 years 70,000 mile on the powertrain. And then this just shows you all of the standard equipment. Base MSRP on this is $108,595. And then we do have a bunch of options on this particular one, including Super Cruise, which you can see is a $2,500 option. Total MSRP $118,415. And let's see how the diesel Escalade goes. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood, and hopefully you can now see the heads-up display. Both of the mirrors. Then throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. So first off, I gotta put on the AR camera just to mess with you guys because it's always so weird. And you could also like put on one of the cameras in the infotainment screen to like really, you know, amp things up. But I have a feeling, and you know, I want to drive this first before I make this conclusion, but I have a feeling this might be my new favorite luxury SUV after today because of the diesel and everything. But anyways, seat comfort is fantastic. That's one of the big benefits of jumping up to Cadillac from GMC or Chevy, is these seats are a lot softer, and that massaging seat function, let me tell you, it definitely seals the deal. Now, I don't think I'm gonna be able to use Super Cruise here because it's typically only available to be used on the interstate, but I'll see if it'll work on these public roads. But from what I know, the place that's mapped here in Utah is called I-15, which is like our main interstate. And so that's the place you can use Super Cruise, but typically not on these like regular roads, but I'll test it. Anyways, focusing back on how this drives, super torquey with that diesel. Again, 460 pound-feet of torque. And I feel like it works really well with like the Escalade because it's just quiet, it's smooth. Like it works really well with the overall character of this. So I think that is awesome. And again, that range, you cannot deny that range is awesome. Yeah, just super torquey. Like it just, I am literally, like you guys can see the RPMs. I'm like partial throttle. And it just moves. Okay, so just like I guessed, these roads aren't the right ones to be able to show the Super Cruise system. So pretty simple to activate Super Cruise. I'll at least be able to show that to you guys. So I turn on cruise control. It's automatically sets to 15 miles an hour because that's the slowest it can go. And then I press this button right here and it'll say Super Cruise unavailable, no road information. So it's just 2 buttons and to turn on Super Cruise. Really seamless system, and it'll drive the Escalade for you again on the interstate here in Utah. So like if you turn on your turn signal, it'll change lanes for you and it'll stay centered in the lane. It'll do all the steering and everything for you. Like it's a really cool system. I did kind of like partially test it out in another Escalade, a used one that a dealer had a few months ago. So just look up Ben Hardy Escalade and you'll see that review. It's very obvious that I used Super Cruise in that video because I like put it on the thumbnail of it. But let's get an acceleration here with this. Oh yeah, I'm in love. Just so, like, you don't even, like, you just go partial throttle and this thing moves. I like this engine so much more than, like, I love the 6.2 V8, don't get me wrong, but I like this so much more than the 6.2 V8 because just diesels in smaller vehicles feel so good. They're so underrated. I understand prices right now are not the best for diesel. Okay, so let's sum things up here with this Escalade. Here's the deal. This thing looks fantastic. I love the all blacked out theme. I love the diesel and being, you know, a platinum package, right? Super nice interior, all the luxury features. Like this is in my opinion the perfect spec. Like I feel like I'm the president driving this thing because it's all blacked out and everything. It's so cool. It has Super Cruise. Like this is like modern luxury because again, like if I was on the interstate, this would be driving itself for me. And again, having like with a full tank, having like 500 miles of driving range, I could just cruise down the highway. This does everything for me and I get a massage. Like that's luxury in my opinion. Let me know what you think about this new diesel Escalade. That's all. That's gonna sum things up with our video on this diesel Escalade. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Cadillac here in Provo, Utah for giving me some time with this Escalade. Link to their inventory in the description down below. Ask for Craig if you have any questions. I'll see ya.